Look 100% homeless.
Well, they're not going to tell you you're too ragged to take the stuff off the side of the road.
I mean, so I had, R.I.P.
Not you, pal.
Right. Well, R.I.P. my Aunt Suzie, but she...
I've been meaning to say that, dude. Sorry about your
Yeah, I
Aunt
mean,
Suzie.
it's been about 5 years now.
Mm-hmm.
But
I'm 5 years too late.
Has it been? Well, she was a crackhead. She got addicted to crack cocaine at a young age. When I was young, being like 30. But she had 2 daughters that both got taken away from her by the state, and both of them, from what I know, are okay. They just kind of were never part of the family. But she would come in and out of our lives forever. Growing up, she would just sometimes you'd come home from school and, oh shit, Aunt Susie's here. I haven't seen her in 4 years.
Yeah.
And she smells like burnt paint.
She's like, do you kids have any crack?
She's
things I could trade for.
Well, dude, one time.
Did she take your Game Boy?
No. But one time she showed up. I was 14 turning 15. She showed up. My mom, in a very agitated tone, was like, "Aunt Susie's going to be staying with us for a while," kind of thing, right? So I moved in. My sister and I moved into one bedroom, and she took my sister's bedroom. So my sister moved into mine. But when she left, about a week later, she left behind just a bunch of random ass personal shit, and one of those was an empty matchbox, empty of matches, but in that matchbook in that matchbox was a crack rock.
She forgot a crack rock?
She forgot a crack rock.
I mean, this never happens.
I know, and it was clearly like
that's the one thing a crackhead would
that's a crack
remember.
Rock. Yeah, and having freshly turned 15 was like, that is definitely a crack rock, right? And I didn't tell anyone.
Just glowing like an item in Zelda.
Well, I took it to school. I showed a bunch of people, friends. Dude, that's a crack rock, right? And then one guy was like, "What are you gonna do? You gonna smoke it?" I'm like, "No, I don't know. Fuck, I don't know." He's like, "I don't know. Let me have it." I was like, no. And he goes, "I'll give you $5 for it." I was like, "No." And he goes, $10. And I said, "All right." And he's like, "I only have 7. I'm like, "Fuck it." So I sold crack. You
sold Aunt Susie's crack.
I sold a crack rock to this dude I went to high school with. I don't think he ever smoked it or sold it to anyone. We weren't like friends. We were just in the same one class together.
Yeah.
But I remember just being like, and we would just have this look of like, it's like the rest of high school. Every time I saw that guy, I was just like, "What's up, man? I sold you a crack rock once. You don't appear to have smoked it or are selling crack regularly now. I don't know what he did with it, but sold a crack rock."
Wow, that's pretty cool.
But my Aunt Susie got
to do once.
Yeah, sold crack once.
Yeah.
To someone for $7.
I don't know why that's cool, but to me, I'm like, that's fantastic.
Yeah, dude. Also, at 15, $7 in the 90s was a good grip to have on you.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
That was like, I got $7. You're like, oh shit, that's $7 in the 90s? I know what it was. It was
a crack rock.
I know I did a pack of cigarettes. Because all cigarettes were like $2.25.
Really?
Yeah, back then. Oh yeah, cigarettes were cheap as fuck.
Jesus, they just kept realizing they're like, oh, they'll just pay it because we got them.
Well, there was also. Did you have this place? You had that place that just sold to everyone, right? That convenience store that just didn't give a fuck.
Yeah, not really.
They wouldn't sell you like a case of beer, but if you went there to buy 240s, they'd let you buy the 240s.
Not really.
No, that's a bummer.
It wouldn't sell to everybody, but there was like places where they would there was one guy who had a nice jawline at 17 that could kind of get sold beer. You know?
Yeah, dude.
But it wasn't like I could walk in there and be like, "Hello, mister, I'd like a Coors." You know?
Dude, we had
That's sick. Yeah, well, New Orleans is way more of a party town than where I'm from.
This was Slidell, Louisiana, the fucking Yonkers of New Orleans, right?
Okay.
And it was just very yeah, we just had that one. Well, yeah, it was multiple places, but the one place that would sell us cigarettes, right, was a Bud's Broiler. You know what Bud's Broiler is?
I do.
But they had a cigarette machine, but you had to have change. So you'd have to go and be like, "Can I have?" Or you'd have to walk in with your own change. But 9 times out of 10, you didn't think that far ahead. So when I had that $7, I was just like, "Oh, can I have change?" And they'd give you the change. They know what you're doing with it. Mm-hmm. And you go buy some fucking Camel Reds. or some Camel Red lights, right? That was the brand. And then just go rip them down with your boys, dude.
You're like, these are crack cigarettes, dude.
These cigarettes came from a hard-earned crack deal, bro.
Wow. Yeah,
you
that's
never
very
sold
cool.
crack once, bro?
Never. I did sell a little weed in my day, though.
Yeah. Were you good at it? Because I tried. Me and my buddy tried once.
I'll be honest with you, Sean. I wasn't, and I was like, I did it enough, and I made some money, but like, I just wasn't the guy that was gonna chase you down for $100. So like, if anyone just fucked me over, I'd be like, yeah, I have a pacemaker, so I'm not gonna like fight you for like $100. So I soon realized like, oh, I can't like do this.
And just so you know, just for the listeners, you're not fucking around when you said that. You literally have a pacemaker.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm not going to, fist fight another child for, a quarter of weed.
Younger child, maybe?
No, I would not have. I wouldn't even have like really given a shit. Like I really didn't care. It was just something that I could do, so I didn't have to like wash dishes. Like I was truly just like getting gas money, and I had a good like hookup.
I remember me and my buddy, we chipped in, bought an ounce for $60.
Yeah,
wholesaler.
That's pretty good.
An ounce.
Time. But was it good weed?
It was
mids. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, dude. Slidell, Louisiana. I would learn this later. I believe it's still on like the DEA hotspot list because I-10, I-59, and I-12, which are all like I-10 goes from fucking Florida to L.A. Right? They call it the 10 out there. I-12 and I-59 comes from, I believe, Minneapolis, and I-12 comes from like Chicago. But there are three major interstates that all merge.
And that's where you got your
in
weed?
Slidell. Well, and then
okay.
And Slidell's 28 miles north of New Orleans.
And you were living there at the time,
right? So that's where I went to high school and grew up as a teenager in Slidell. So like all these drug dealers and drug traffickers dumped the shit off in Slidell and let it trickle its way down into New Orleans. So there was never, like growing up, there was never a shortage of anything. You wanted weed, you wanted acid, coke. I wasn't fucking with coke at that point, but people were. Molly, meth, not meth really, but we didn't call it Molly back then. It was just X.
Yeah.
It was like it was like the reverse of Twitter. It was X first, and then it got a cute name.
Apparently, meth made it into my town or my hometown.
I feel like it was invented in
my hometown,
somewhere in New England,
right? Probably,
or in Arizona.
But I think I've heard tell that the Hell's Angels have taken over the town bar, and they are selling meth out of it. Maybe I shouldn't say that on
What
there.
the fuck, dude?
Yeah,
Hell's Angels seems pretty cool.
Yeah.
Listen, we endorse the Hell's Angels on.
You think
they're the best guys?
Oh,
I don't want a bunch of fucking
angry
yoinked
guys.
Up fucking biker dudes showing up like, you guys talking about the Hell's Angels? Now I'm imitating them terribly.
Yeah.
You guys talking about the Hell's Angels?
Hey, listen, pal. I think it's totally cool that.
Are they still like? There's a Hell's Angels bar in Manhattan.
I think that I guess it's. I think it's like now a relic.
Yeah.
But they clearly are active. But how much money can you really? I mean, I guess you can make some good money selling meth according to Breaking Bad rules. But I'm like, how many people are really? No, never mind. I'm sure there's plenty of customers.
Sure. But I'm also like, it's funny. Like,
but isn't it very cheap? Isn't meth very cheap? Isn't that the whole thing?
I don't know. I've never. Because I can tell you now, crack, I sold it for pretty cheap.
Yes, you did.
The one time.
Yeah.
I don't know if there was ever. What if that was a meth rock? Maybe that's why she didn't smoke it.
Meth?
It was like, oh, that's meth.
It's like cooked. Oh, maybe, yeah.
But I looked, that like chalky white, it had that smell.
Ugh.
That it's like
I once stayed at like a motel in some fucking terrible place between Albuquerque and fucking LA and
somewhere else where Bugs Bunny should have took a left.
Right, and I found like a bunch of tinfoil things under the bed and it had that exact smell, and I'm like, oh yeah, people were absolutely smoking crack in here very recently. And when I like told her I'd like another room because there's crack in mine, she was just like, no.
Well, I mean, dude, in Brooklyn, and this is probably everywhere, you see the methadone guys. You see them just on the street during the day sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Like, if you just ever see a human being on a corner, like...
Surfing. I call it sidewalk surfing. Because they're like...
Just like that?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that guy's yoinked out of his fucking skull.
Absolutely.
Either on illegal
just
or legal
fully
substances.
riding a wave that isn't there.
Yeah. But dude,
what you want to talk about avoiding, like that's got to be. Oh yeah, that's just got to be a while. Like what entices you to like continue? It must be some crazy.
I feel like,
or is it just one bad decision and then you're like, I like that way too much?
I do know one person who has done everything.
Okay.
Who was literally
everything once.
Has smoked. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And he did say above and beyond all of them,
heroin.
Shooting heroin was unbelievable.
I have heard tell that it is quite nice.
And like,
I would never do it though.
Especially like if you've got nothing in your life, and especially in today's society where like phones and there's so much information being shoved into your brain and constantly makes you second guess your life. You're constantly comparing your life to people who's, are on Instagram, and in reality, their Instagram feeds are twice as interesting as their lives.
Right,
They're
but
just great
so
at
rather than buying a Nokia flip phone, you decide to inject heroin. Is what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly.
But you can easily avoid
exactly, and then there's
what
like
you're
release. You're not feeling like it's like logging off of life.
I suppose
I'm not recommending it. I don't want anyone. I don't think we should do it, but I've heard it's the one. But then apparently also crack is a close second.
Crack the close second to heroin.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because but my aunt, the final time she got picked up for she was going into a grocery store shoplifting, and then peddling the shoplifted goods of the grocery store out in the parking lot.
Okay,
of a Schwegmann's,
little too close.
But also, apparently, she'd made a couple, which is like that's fucking insane to me. Of
that
like
people are like, I'm gonna.
Someone just like in a rush, just like, I mean, I need the basics. I don't have anything to eat, but fuck it, I could go in there and get them from this established grocery store, or I could buy this half-eaten thing of luncheon meat and an open container of milk from this toothless lady for $4 and
more
and a half pack of cigarettes. Yeah, let's do it. Fuck it. I'm like, the fact that she was actually making sales.
Yeah.
That people are like, oh, look, hey, honey, I know we got this barbecue coming up, and they got everything we need in there, but this lady who keeps spit coughing on me, she's got some warm steaks that have been out in the sun for too long, and she says we can have them for next to, what was that again? Whatever I have on me, that's $8, sweetie. This is a deal.
Also, it's such a cracked out decision to sell it right outside of the place.
Just like immediately.
Like not even walk a block. You're like,
I think she was on the end of the other side of the parking lot. Like she was where people were driving in and like she was like
like the valet,
like almost waving them there. Yeah, but she got busted and.
It's like, are you sure you want to go in there when I have all of this cheese?
Yeah. It's July in Louisiana, and let me tell you something. This shit now smells worse than it does in its natural state.
You know what's
Give it to you for whatever you got in your center console.
I thought that I solved all my problems when I was like 19 because I found a corner store that was selling 99-cent Arizonas for 50 cents. And so I bought like
game in the system
$30 worth. So I got like 60 for $30, and I was like thinking like, oh, I'll just peddle these ice cold Arizonas and double up my money. But you'd be surprised how many people just don't all want Arizona. Like you're losing money.
I never thought I would meet someone worse with money than me. It's good to know you're right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Also, I respect that guy. The Arizona tea guy was like, we're not ever going to raise the price. We don't fucking need it. We're doing great.
I know.
I respect that all day.
Dude, yeah, because everything, like even like my landlord, I was like, hey, can we not raise it 20% every fucking year? And they were like, their literal response is, well, we can get that money, so we're going to. And I'm like, that's Arizona guy is deciding to not get the money that he could get.
That's the bullshit of capitalism where it's like, hey, you should be making money at all costs, and it's okay. Whoever you're fucking over, whatever situation you're making worse, doesn't matter because it's in the name of making money, and that's the only reason you should do anything.
Yeah.
And it sucks.
Yeah, well,
it fucking sucks.
It's just bizarre because it's like it's going to, I mean, there's no way that like everything can remain going up in price without the dollar just meaning nothing. I mean, dude, how do you live in New York City and work at like McDonald's without selling drugs? Like literally, like how do you even pay to live?
Or without living with 6 people,
it's gotta be
55 minutes, like
nuts.
an hour train ride away. You know what I mean?
It's like if you're making what, $15 an hour or something like that. And then you're working 40 hours a week. I mean, I'm not great at math, but like I know the percentage of that is what's that? 150. That's $600 a week. It's like, dude, so you're making $2,400 a month before taxes. So you're probably really taking home $1,850.
I truly think like people you meet who are hardcore, like, nah, fuck it, man. I'm a free market capitalist. Nah, man, it's all about, you know what? You just got to do it. You work hard. I think these are people, and this is something you'll learn with just a little bit of snooping. And it's kind of a disappointing fact that this is a guesstimation.
Love a little snooping.
85% of rich people were rich first.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
Yes, I know there are the fucking poor motherfuckers that came from nothing and made. Yes,
but you know how you.
But that's probably only 15-20% of the rich.
But you can tell that I know the difference because those poor people, like I know a guy.
They try and help.
Who not only that, but they don't even know how to enjoy the money because it's like a mental thing, poverty a lot of times. Yeah, it's like literally like you could have $40 million, but like still choose to like move granite, like just because that's what you know.
Oh, you have $40 million, but you still would just go eat at the same diner.
Of course.
And like
which like is cool. I kind of respect it. Like
fuck yeah.
Yeah.
You drive a really nice Nissan Sentra.
Yeah.
Like to you, like.
Well, I prefer that honestly to like, cause that's the people that like, know how to enjoy their money. It's like, I don't know that you earned it. I almost think like someone sacrificed a lot for you to be able to like know how to enjoy.
Well, that's what I'm saying about people who like come from money and then are rich and then have this whole like you got to work for it. I'm like, but you didn't. Or you came from a very privileged place to where like you had 16 different safety nets in place if you failed.
That's what.
So and then also. And I think that attitude of like, nah, fuck that, we can't just help the poor is because they think so lowly of poor people or less privileged people than them that they're afraid of becoming one of them because they know how people in their circle think of the poor. It's such a like projecting their own horrendous insecurity onto the middle class and below, and it's like that's fucking dog shit.
Yeah. Well,
I fucking hate that shit.
I know. Because it's like as if like someone else getting money means you have less or something.
Or like, what if that's the case?
Which is ironically,
call back to another ep.
It's kind of a poverty mentality to have.
Sure, but I mean, also like the idea of like, I just don't get the idea of like, hey man, right now you could have $50 million, and then but then that means everyone else around you might have to struggle or probably will struggle and suffer a little bit. Or you can have $30 million and everyone around you's flush and everyone around you is taken care of and they're able to do pretty well. And if some of them do well, they'll have that much money too. But okay, so let's be realistic. You can have $22 million, but everyone around you's good. Everyone around you's basic needs are taken care of. And they can make money if they work hard enough, or they can be okay just working as hard as necessary to have a good life. But you only have $22 million versus 50. I just don't understand the mentality of, nope, fuck that, I need 50.
Yeah.
Because if 22 million is not enough,
then 50 is.
Then 50 is not enough, and something's broken in you that no amount of money will ever fix.
Yeah, but I think that the cushion of like sleeping on a bed of an extra 30 mil probably helps them feel okay.
But that also sucks.
I'm aware.
But also like if you take 22 million right the fuck now,
you could turn it into 50 and
you turn it on 50. But even if you didn't have the acumen to do that,
I couldn't.
That is generational money.
Yeah.
That is, you truly can just say, all right, I've got 22 million. I'm going to take 7 million of this to just live off of lavishly and not touch the rest of it. And you probably would have trouble burning through that 7 million if you weren't a piece of shit.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Have you ever seen Richie Rich?
Or have you ever seen,
remember he spent a cold meal in a week?
Did he?
Yeah, that was like the whole thing. I spent the $1 million check.
The one with Macaulay Culkin?
Yeah, isn't that? Oh no, Blank Check.
You're talking about Blank Check. Yeah, you fucking jumping.
Oh my bad.
Yeah,
I don't even remember.
Blank Check, $1 million.
Yeah.
Whoa, I mean, I guess maybe 7 million. I don't have 7 mil, so maybe you would burn through it, or would you? Like, I don't know. I just feel like if you're burning through $1 million in a week, you're doing it purposefully.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're like, I'm trying.
I mean,
to
you're a
burn this
literal
money.
child. I mean, in the movie, it's a boy.
True,
Who like bought like a, also the things that he bought in that fucking movie, like a huge water slide from his bed to his pool. It would take longer than a week to build, pal. Like, who do they think they are, tricking us movie watchers into thinking that he had that installed and then had time to enjoy it for the full week while he spent money on other lavish things? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I'm also saying, like, mathematically speaking.
No, we need to talk about blank check. No, I'm kidding.
I mean, listen.
Like, literally no one's seen that movie.
If you took, let's just say what I just said. You had $22 million.
Yeah.
You're in your mid-40s. In reality, you probably, at best, have 30 more years of livable life.
Actual
right?
living.
So you take that $22 million, you put aside fucking, you take 7, you put aside the remaining 15.
Okay.
You put it in accounts and trusts for future people. You now have $7 million. If you divide that by 30, hold on. I know I can do this because it's.
You should have chose 6.
No. I want to do. It's too late. I already did 7. I want to say that's roughly $125,000 a year for the rest of your life. Well, let's see. Let's do the math.
No.
You want me to calculate it?
No. Yeah, sure. If you must. This. I do think this might be an OCD thing, right? Where you like need to know this now. Yeah. Your guess was 125. I'm gonna go 150.
I'm ashamed.
I
am ashamed at how shitty I was at math.
Is it like 275,000 a year or something?
7 million divided by 30 is 233,333.
Yeah.
303 and 33333. So you're almost $250,000 a year for the next 30 years. If that is not enough fucking juice for you to live,
yeah, while you
asshole.
have yeah.
Like something's wrong. Something's broken.
No, I know it is this weird thing where like guys, what they get very good at is,
and that's a quarter of the shit.
They get good at making money, and like that's their thing. So like,
you could do that with a $7 million seed for sure.
Right.
For the rest of your life.
Yeah, but I'm saying like that's all they're good at. You know what I mean? It'd be like comedy to us or whatever.
They just need to keep making money.
Yeah, like that's what they know how to do well.
I love how you're like, because talent-wise, Sean and I is both billionaires.
Yeah.
Just based on ability.
We're rich in a different way.
Rich in a different way. We just don't know how to fully cash in on it.
Yeah.
Quite yet. But, we'll figure it out.
Nothing like being 10 years late to a Ponzi scheme.
But, I mean, okay, then if you're good at making money,
yeah,
you also probably come from a point where it's like, okay, you clearly understand a thing better than most people who probably don't have time to understand the thing because maybe they're raising kids, maybe they're in a fucking broke thing, or maybe they're just not good at it like you are. So why not use that to benefit every fucking body around you, or to benefit the system you came from, or to benefit the city you came from, the place you came from? Like, why?
I think it's literally just like monkey see, monkey do, and you see someone else just like not doing that, and you're like, all right, well, if that asshole is not doing it, then I'll be an asshole too, and not, It's
like the same concept of like, if you're the one guy who understands how to start a fire, and you're in the woods with a bunch of people, and you're just gonna watch them all freeze because you're the only one who knows how to do it. And you don't want to just go over there and just be like, does nothing. You start their fire. Your fire's still lit. You go start their fire. Now they could fucking survive.
Or you could just literally use your fire. You wouldn't even have to waste a match.
Yeah, just show them how to. But then if you do that, then you're saying, hold on, I'm the only one who can give you this. Versus if you go start it and then go, by the way, this is how you start it.
Oh, okay.
And if they remember, oh, yeah, okay, now we know. But at the same time, your fire's still burning red fucking hot. You go get some more branches, keep it burning, start your own fires. Them having fire does not take away from you having fire unless all of a sudden you burn down the woods.
This is a very long way to say you prefer socialism to capitalism, I think. Right?
I've been to, the only socialist countries I've ever been to is Norway, Denmark, right?
Uh-huh.
And that's like more socialist Democrat.
What are the Norwegians, like what do they look like?
I mean, they look like fucking like Norwegians, like just exactly what you think.
Like just like very pale, light hair,
blonde, blue eye. But there's I saw like a lot of people of color in Norway in like the cities. But like this shit works. They still have rich people. They still have poor people. They're all better educated. There's not really a homeless issue. They all have access to health care. They're all happier and just more chill. But they still have the people who are fucktard rich. And you can still make, that's the thing, you can still make a dickload of money in a socialist situation.
Yeah.
Just people are afraid of the idea of like, nope, because then the next thing you know, it's communist. No, it's fucking not.
Wait, so to be clear, one dickload, to become dickload rich, you need a fuck ton of money?
Usually.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually. Fuck ton is it's appropriate amount.
To become dickload rich.
To get a dickload.
Yeah.
Like if you
one fuck ton
usually
equals one dickload.
Will become, if you invest it right and just, I guess.
You can get a dickload.
Play it right. You can get a dickload of money.
Out of a fuck ton.
But you need a fuck ton to start.
Investing. Yeah. And if you invest a dickload, what do you think you're...
Some people will invest a shitload, but then they end up with fuck all.
Correct.
And you don't want that.
Yeah, no.
You don't want that. Or they end up with like an ass load. But like an ass load's not nearly a dick load.
No, an ass load is...
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's actually
ass load's good, but dick load's what you want.
Well, dick load it's multiple ass loads.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Dick load produces.
Correct. Many ass loads, yeah.
Yeah, a dick load actually feeds assholes, whereas a fuck ton, but you need a fuck ton usually to get a dick load.
Correct.
Yeah,
I just wanted to make sure I understood.
I mean, and anyone taking notes, feel free to email us and we'll lay this out for you.
Yeah, literally bestguyspod@gmail.com. I wonder if anyone would write. Yeah. We should have people write in and ask questions. About, some of the just literally anything. I just like to hear like people's qualms and like whatever's going on, and like what's a 60-year-old woman in Des Moines doing and caring about besides like late night TV. I feel like that's
Des Moines, not that bad.
Really? I'm just saying it's a random place. Yeah, no, I haven't been to
Des Moines, Iowa. Is like one of those sneaky cool cities.
I feel Milwaukee is that way as well.
Yeah, but I feel Milwaukee's
people's
got a little more. Milwaukee's got swagger.
I guess so. Yeah, Milwaukee's best.
I love Milwaukee. Milwaukee's dope.
I know. I do too. I like that way that everything looks like a house, but it's a bar or a restaurant. It kind of has like a very cool, speakeasy. Got a
little Popeye edge to it.
Right.
And I don't mean the chicken chain. I mean like the Robert Altman film specifically. Like everything feels like shanty and old.
Yeah.
But
there's like cool shit going on.
I dig Milwaukee big time.
Yeah.
I was there when they won Game 6 in 2021.
The Brewers?
The fucking Bucks.
Oh.
With Giannis. Yeah, I was in town doing shows.
Oh, wow.
And it was Game 5. So it wasn't when they won the finals, but when it was like, they're probably going to win the finals next game.
Oh, and people were going crazy.
Crying, going bonkers. Love
right, because they don't have that was their first championship probably, right?
Since the 70s, since like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, I believe.
Dude, it's crazy. I remember being in Brooklyn during the Golden State Warriors versus Cleveland Game 7 when LeBron like blocked the shot off the top of the glass and like Cleveland won against the most winningest team in NBA history.
Sometimes I think that finals was a little slanted.
I don't know.
I feel like it was a little like, hey, we can't let these guys win again.
I don't know. I don't know if I think they like a dynasty, but either way, really, was it called poorly?
I feel like there were a couple. Yeah, I feel like there was like one game specifically where it was like, where Golden State was about to take the series in like 5 games or something,
and it was like some crazy calls.
Whoa, dude, another one,
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden, then there was another game, and then
either way,
yeah,
I will say that Game 7 was the second greatest thing I've ever seen in sports, but we were the only people in there because it's Brooklyn, so everyone's like kind of dick riding the Warriors, and so we were the only ones in there who were like rooting for Cleveland, right?
Yeah.
And when the Cleveland won, the chef, like the cook in the back, like an old man, he like noticed that we were rooting for Cleveland, and he like called his dad and told him that there's 6 guys in here rooting for Cleveland, and his dad bought us a shot from Cleveland.
That's fucking
like that's
really?
How much it meant to him.
That's wild.
You know, so I love to see like a city where it like that it just means so much to have a ship.
I mean, dude, so my first year in New York, that I got to paint the picture here. That Super Bowl. Okay, so the Super Bowl, it would have been the 2007 season. For the game was in 2008, but let me paint the picture. There was this place, maybe you've heard of it, maybe you have not. It was in the East Village. It was called Rafifi. Never heard of it? So Rafifi is now, it was on 11th, between First and Second. It is now a fucking Buffalo Exchange. But it was when I first moved to New York was the shit because it was just this divey music venue. It had a bar up front and in the back this small venue, and it basically became an unofficial comedy club, right? So they still did music there occasionally, once or twice a week, but they had just a really cool show back there, and it was different, produced by different people, but like that's where like Eugene Merman and Tisdale did invite them up, and it's where like Greg Johnson did the Greg Johnson show. It was such a fucking great spot because it was just a shitty bar, but it was a comedy club essentially. Mm-hmm. So every night, you'd go by there, you'd hang out, or you'd see a show, you were on a show. But that Super Bowl, sorry to bring this up to a person from New England.
Oh, I do. Wait, is this against Miami?
No, this was the first Eli-led Giants beating.
Oh, yeah. Well, no,
Patriots.
that's fine.
Okay.
I'm not butthurt about it.
So there was a show that night on a Sunday night. No one fucking, it was like 3 people there. We watched the fucking, we did the show, and then as we come out and the Super Bowl's fucking on.
You're right.
It's like, so we're like, all right. And I at that point I had no horse in the game. I'm a Saints fan. They were dog shit back then. Well, they weren't dog shit back then, but that was when they were starting to get good, but they just weren't there yet. But anyway, I was like, well, I live here now. I'll root for the fucking, we were all kind of rooting for the
Giants. Yeah, everyone wants the Patriots to lose at all times, yeah.
But the thing was, there was like 5 comedians, the staff, and then one guy who during the show had just come in because no one was in there. I didn't hear him say any of this, but apparently he's like, why is nobody in here? Why is nobody watching the game in here? This is crazy. And he just stayed. So by the time we all came out, he's there with his fucking Giants hat, his fucking Eli Manning
just
jersey.
Being 100% of the audience for the Giants.
No, but 100% full fan at the bar. Guy.
Yeah.
He doesn't give a shit about us.
No, I'm saying the audience for the Giants.
Yeah, and he's just bam, and he's fucking ordering drinks for himself, not us. He doesn't give a fuck about us. But then we all start comedians, so we all start chiming in, cracking some jokes. Now he likes us. Then he buys us all around. Now he's getting in, and then they win, and it was a very dramatic, that last second pass to Plaxico Burress, bam.
I think I blacked out.
Yeah, it was the catch. Your boy who caught it on his head.
Oh, I remember that very well.
I can't remember his name, but then they drove, and then Eli hit Plaxico. Bam, game's over right there. And the guy goes, fucking loses his shit, and then goes, well, I'm going to get pussy, and just walks out. Didn't pay his tab.
Love that guy.
Then it was so fucking hilarious. Just didn't pay his tab, left. For some reason, I'm around a lot of perfect fucking dipshits at bars, and I love everything about them.
Yeah.
But that guy, I still to this day, as do we all, I'm sure. I think I'm the only comic who was there that night that still did stand up. Is still doing stand up now. But it was like we talked about it so like, did he have a girl? Was there a woman in his life who was like, if the Giants win, come get some, but if not, don't talk to me. We're done. Or was he just like, I can only, if my team wins, I'm a Casanova? Or was it just the expectation of, holy shit, this is the first time the Giants have won a Super Bowl since the 90s. Everyone's going to be fucking.
Dude, I feel like it might have been just like some pussy.
I'm going to get pussy. And just storms out.
Or a noose.
Yeah, he was going to.
Like, I'm either ending it all or I'm getting
Oh,
laid.
yeah, that's it, dude. That guy rule. I wonder what he did. I hope, if you're a fan of this podcast, whatever your name was.
Yeah, please.
I hope you got laid. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, that's really, I mean, yeah, I would imagine.
It wasn't that crazy, though. I remember, like, we left the bar and, like, just roamed around the streets expecting it to be bedlam, and it wasn't that wild.
Is it Giants, Jets, like, which one of them is the Mets? The Jets or the Mets?
The Jets are definitely the Mets.
Yeah.
Because they rhyme. And the Nets are the Jets and the Mets.
Yeah.
Whereas the Knickerbockers, that's what the Knicks stand for.
Uh-huh.
That's a tongue twister. Don't say that one out loud.
No.
And the Yankees and the Giants are all...
Right.
I feel like that's the thing. I feel like if you like the Jets...
So Jets fans would probably go absolutely berserk, is my point. Like, Mets fans go nuts.
Start burning shit down.
Mets fans go way harder for their team than Yankees fans. Yankees fans, like, they adopt that sort of, like, sophisticated, no beard, like, energy of the team, you know? They don't even put their names on the back of their jerseys.
Who?
The Yankees.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because there's whatever, we're just going to buy a new...
We're New York Yankees.
We're just going to turn it... Well, that's the thing, like... I respect sports fandom. I mean, I myself am a Saints fan. What I don't understand is that level where you make it personal.
Well, I think that's when
that shit's insane.
I think that's when you're losing your house.
Yeah. But you see that, like, the difference between, like, fuck you, the Saints suck, and Katrina should have finished the job. Like,
I know.
What's your fucking problem?
Dude, one time, and people do this with everything, not just sports. No. One time, and I still see this guy around, I was walking in the West Village, and some long-haired man was...
saw you and was like, fellow long-haired guy.
And then he goes, comedy show, like he's barking for, like, a nearby club.
Okay.
And I'm walking with a friend of mine, and I was like, man, I hate comedy. And I kept walking because, like, you know, that's a funny thing to say.
Yeah, as a comedian.
Whatever. Yeah. And he's like, he says, screams it off the sidewalk at me. Like, after a minute, he kind of, like, thought about it, and then he said, well, fuck you and fuck the doctor who delivered you.
Wow.
And then I was like, you're mad at your dad. You're not mad at me. I kept walking. Yeah. And then next thing I know, I get shoved from behind. And it's this dude, like, ready to square up with me over, like, his love of comedy.
Wow.
And, like,
That's
there's,
hilarious.
like, people eating outside. And I'm like, dude, we're not doing long-haired white guy fist fight for these people right now. We're not. Like, you're a comedian.
Yeah.
And this is your.
Wow,
Yeah,
dude.
I still see him.
I wonder.
He's still out there barking, dude. This was, like, probably 6 years ago.
Now I want to know who this guy is.
I have no idea who his name is.
Comedy fucking blows.
But, like, dude, being that diehard of a fan of something that is inherently, you know, supposed to be funny.
Inflict fucking physical pain on another human being.
Because they don't like comedy like you do. You crazy person. So, I mean, I think these people exist in everything.
My little brother and my dad, this was in 2008, maybe. 2006, maybe? I forget the year. No, it would have been early 2007. They went to the Saints NFC Championship with the Chicago Bears in Chicago.
The Bears.
And they went with a crew of, like, New Orleans people, and they got snowballs thrown at them with 9-volt batteries.
Damn.
Like, what the fuck? What is that shit?
That's insane.
What kind of dumb
Snowball's funny.
Snowball's hilarious. All day.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I get that level of fandom.
But
like, actually, like, oh, I'm going to fuck this guy up.
Like, hurt his head.
Like, especially, like, I saw, it was at the stand, outside the stand.
That'll teach him to like the team I like.
Well, dude, so I was in Philadelphia in 2023 at Helium Comedy Club Super Bowl weekend. Okay? And that was the Philadelphia fucking Eagles were in the Super Bowl against the Chiefs, right?
Yeah, they lost by a very slim margin.
Sure, yes. Correctly. But I was doing the Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then obviously coming back to New York on Sunday. So Super Bowl's on Sunday. So at some point Thursday night, after Helium's a fucking great club, so you're partying afterwards, and one of the managers is like, "Hey, do you want to stay in town for the game? I'll extend your hotel for an extra night if you want." I'm like, "Can I think on it?" Sure. So a couple more nights later, after the Saturday night show, the last show of the week, I'm hanging out. There's this couple that had come to the first show on Friday, and then they came back for the late show on Saturday. They had a good time. They were like, we just love comedy, and it was so much fun. So we came out. I was like, that's super cool. He was a virologist.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking?
Yes. Studying viruses.
Yeah, and she was another, I can't remember exactly what she was, but she was another ologist. They met at Penn, UPenn, Ivy League school.
Got it.
While in medical, and then they did their residencies in the town. They're a couple. They're doctors, right? And as we're hanging out, and we're having like a very like intense but fun conversation about comedy, and we're talking about, and we're seeing eye to eye on all this shit. And then the manager, she from Helium, she comes over and she's like, "Hey, Sean, fuck, dude, I forgot to ask, but if you want me to extend your room, I need to know right now." And I was like, "Oh no, actually no, I'm not. I'm gonna go back." And so then the guy, he's like, "Oh, you're not going to stay in town for the game? It's going to be fun, man. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be so wild. It's going to be..." And they're, and I was like, no, I got to go back to the city. And now they're being like, "Oh, but you don't want to stay. You're already here. It's going to be fun." And I was drunk enough to say it. I'm like, "No, I mean, truth is, I think I kind of don't want to be here because I think the Chiefs are going to win."
Nice.
And which was how I felt. And it was like I beat both of their mothers to death in front of them. Like they got I'm talking, they went from like doctor dialect, like, "Wait, what the fuck you said? Right? What did you, wait, seriously? You just said that to me?" And she's like, "Oh, no, you did not. Oh, no, you did not." And then they're like verbally now like, "Fuck you, man. Fuck you. I'm like, whoa. And then she goes, I would not have even suggested we come to one of your fucking shows if I knew that bullshit. And they were both like angry.
And these are like well-paid
doctors.
Yeah. What is that?
Also, neither one of them from Philadelphia.
Right.
Yeah. And so
well, I mean, that's crazy.
we did a shot. It ended amicably. It was,
but you saw the
like
rage.
the flare up eventually extinguished itself.
Of course.
It was fine. And it ended fine. But on the way out, they still talked a little bit of shit.
Right.
You know, and
then
like on the way out, they're like, we also want to get. Is it possible to get a refund from seeing this fucking Chiefs fan? I'm like, I didn't say I was a Chiefs fan. I just think
I'm
Patrick
just calling
Mahomes
the
is
game
X factor. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
But that level of like, hold the fucking phone. Remember something. Any professional sports team you were talking about, 90% of that team doesn't live in the fucking city that they play for.
Yeah.
Never, they own a home or a condo there to be there for training and during the season, but they don't give a fuck. So if you burn down Philadelphia because your team wins, by the way, which is insane.
I know, it's very funny.
Most of those players are not even going to return to the burnt down city
that you will live in
forever, obviously.
Yeah.
It's so fucking insane.
It is wild. Well,
I
think, this speaks to something that I believe, which is that like sports are, it's like gladiator days, like when people would like it speaks to that like archaic, like almost like primal thing in people where it's like, this pride in and like desire to watch like people in the ring go at it until one of them can't get up, and like, there's some kind of civic pride attachment to that,
Dude, I love, I got so into basketball in the past couple of years just because it's like, to me, it's a more fun experience. Like, look, I'll always love the New Orleans Saints. I'm a fan. But going to
just checking on this real quick.
Going to a live football game is a commitment. It is a day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The games are longer. Stadiums are bigger, so it takes longer to get in and out, etc. More expensive, all that shit. Basketball game, it's 3 hours of your night. No big deal.
Yeah.
Show up. The game's 2.5 hours. You're in, out, bam. And it's smaller, so you get whatever. But I love it. I love talking shit, cheering. But goddamn, I saw it. We were at the stand, and some fucking dude. I mean, this was years ago. This was old stand, comedy club. But some fucking guy walking by. He's walking by in a Philadelphia Phillies jersey. He sees Jay Okerson. And Jay, hilarious comic from Philly, will wear his Michael Vick Philadelphia jersey just to fucking troll people sometimes. But the dude got a little too like, yo, Philly, bro, with Jay. And Jay was like, all right, man, whatever. And then someone from inside was like, mention the Giants. And the Philadelphia guy, the fan goes, do you know what? I wish I was flying one of those planes. That's all he said.
Whoa.
Which was like, so you wish you would have committed suicide?
Yeah.
I don't understand. Like, that's
like, you love Allah?
Yeah. Are you Allah Akbaring?
Yeah.
What are you doing right now?
Yeah.
Also, you wish you were dead in a terrorist attack? I mean,
I would kind of believe all of these things from this guy.
The guy just hates the Giants so much, even though he was in New York at the moment.
Yeah. That's really wild.
Yeah,
and then, these same guys that are so dead fast, like I remember my grandpa was, bless his soul, but he definitely...
Jeffrey?
No.
Steve?
Bob
fucking Donahue.
Correct. He would love the Red Sox, but then hate Manny Ramirez, just simply because he was just a confident, not white person, probably. I think he would never say that. That's why. But it's why are you hating the star player of the team? He's he just doesn't run fast enough out to his position or whatever. It's he's hitting home runs and winning games for the team that you love, but you still will hate him. So I really think all of this is to say that this is all just a projection of people's personal shit. That it's a safe place to put all of your crazy bullshit.
There's some 60-something-year-old diehard Boston Celtics fans who are still but I miss back when Bird was on the team. That was a better team. And you're like, because he was white?
Yeah.
Because they had 2 white guys on that team and none on this one?
No, we're actually pretty white right now. It's pretty fantastic.
Who?
Pritchard.
I guess Porzingis.
Yep.
That's pretty fantastic. retarded. Yeah, dude.
Well, just in the sense,
dude, I think Jaylen Brown is fucking dope.
he's
as
the
shit.
man.
That guy rules.
But
just hear like in interviews where he's I don't know, he's fucking.
he's just being the shit. Yeah, he fucking rules. But I think I say that because like my little brothers are super into basketball, you know, and I think like if I had been really like hoping to play college basketball or something when I was young, I would have almost no one in the league to like look at and be like, I can do that.
Oh yeah.
Right, but now you got like fucking Joker, and you got old.
Dude. Speaking of Nikola Jokic, right?
Yeah.
I was like, they call him the Joker, but when he's having a rough game, they should call him and pronounce his shit correctly. They call him the Yoker because he's laying eggs. Huh? Fucking take that, Denver Nuggets fan. I mean, actually take it, use it.
Yeah, use it
He was the Yoker tonight because he was laying eggs.
for the Nuggets.
For the Nuggets.
There's something there too, because you know, is it? Is it the Nuggets, like chicken nuggets? Like what are we
gold
do?
nuggets.
Oh,
Fucking. Oh, you got.
I was like, what is the Nuggets? All of.
So for years you've been like, can't believe Denver named their fucking team after chicken nuggets.
I kind
Do
of
people just eat more chicken nuggets out there? What is that all about?
Yeah. Well,
All the weed. Did you ever put it together like,
Weed.
well, weed's legal, so they're high all the time?
something.
Taking
Yeah,
them
I
more
just
nuggets.
wasn't sure what it was. But gold nuggets. So that's like the gold rush was big in Denver. Is that sort of the deal?
Yeah, man.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
how Denver was established.
I always thought it was it went all the way to California.
San Francisco was the big one, but that Denver was like an outpost for traders
Okay.
going to and from. I think
The Nuggets.
whether or not I'm wrong, it's still a better answer than chicken nuggets. Fucking hilarious, dude.
Dude,
Wait, do we need to go through all 30 teams to make sure you understand what the mascots are accurately?
No. Dude, we have a friend
The Suns. What are they talking? So the Phoenix Suns. That's because they don't want to name the daughters. Because it's a bunch of dudes on the team. So it's the Suns.
No,
of
I
Phoenix,
knew
right?
I knew that because it was a U. But we have
it was a what?
A U, Suns. With
Okay.
U. But we have a friend who in common who is from Denver, and he went to like I believe it was
we have a friend in common.
yeah, me and you.
Denver comedian.
Don't say. I mean, I don't know.
Denver
just,
person.
Just a person in
Denverite.
Denver.
Raises
But like
dogs.
he went to I believe Brazil and got like 10 prostitutes, right?
Oh, yeah, I know who this person is. Yeah.
And then just had them watch the Nuggets game with him, and they
pretty
were all
fucking
just
great.
like, "Go Nuggies!" And he was like, "I've never felt more loved in my entire life."
That's pretty great.
It's unbelievable.
I've heard a variation
like-
of that story. That's great, though.
And
yeah.
like one of the women even changed her like Avi on like Facebook to like a Denver Nuggets logo for him. Like,
hell yeah.
I don't even think he had sex with them. I think he just wanted people to watch the game with him.
People get off in different ways.
Dude, it was. I mean, that's unbelievably funny. to me.
Sometimes you just have like that memory is probably worth 1,000 nuts.
100%.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
I mean,
Like, yeah.
that would be a nut you'd forget too. I feel
Yeah.
like the paid for nuts, you're rarely like, that was great.
Or you try,
know?
you try and like block them out. You're like, oh,
Yeah, I would imagine. I don't
Can't
know.
believe I did that again.
Yeah,
On
yeah.
a Wednesday.
Right,
You
right.
know?
Yeah, I'm
In
afraid to
town.
like open that door of like nuts.
Sex work.
Yeah.
I have used the services of a sex worker a few times in my life. But I've only, or whatever you want to call them. You think I'm a fucking gay for calling them sex workers? Well, whatever. I don't give
No,
a shit.
sex worker is the term,
Yeah.
I believe.
No, I know, but people's like, just call them prostitutes. I'm
No,
like,
no.
all right, bro. But I've always done it in situations where it's like, oh, I never sought it out. It presented itself, and I was like, you know what? Fuck yeah.
Yeah, sort of like
Yeah.
cocaine rules, I imagine.
Yeah.
Like most people that I know that fuck with cocaine, it's like, oh, well, it was there, and then, whatever. But I'm not like,
Yeah.
I don't want to meet the people that I have to meet in order to find it regularly.
Yeah, dude. I mean, the last time I did it was last year, and I got the wool straight pulled over my eyes in a way, but I was like, you know what? Touche.
Yeah.
Like I won't say the town.
Well, you're protecting a town?
Well, I'll say no, because then people.
Okay.
There were too many people around at the beginning of the night, but it was basically like night got later. This group that we had met after a show was dwindling down to just the real hardcore hangouters, and then me and this girl it becomes flirtatious between the two of us. We have some drinks. She brings me to a second location, which was smart on her behalf, because it made me feel like, oh damn, we're hanging out. And then she did can you walk me home? I was like, of course I can. How far is your home? She's like, not 10-minute walk, and then along, and the whole, she's gotten more and more touchy throughout the night. Flirtation has ensued more and more, but no contact was made in any other way than just flirty.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the walk home, as we're getting to her house, she makes the pitch, and she basically says, in a nutshell, listen, I went back to grad school. I'm 29 years old. I'm paying for everything myself. I don't do this very often. If I'm being real with you, this happens probably once a month, but this is part of my income. I enjoyed the show. I think you're really cute, which I was like, cute? That's the word to use? But she did. She's like, but if you want to proceed, it will cost you. And I was just like, God damn it. Well played.
Wow.
Well played. And then she pitched me a number, which was high. I was like, that, okay. And I countered with a far less number. And then we just negotiated, kind of like in a fast. It wasn't like I don't know, what am I going to get for $3,000? You know, it was more of just like because that's what she asked. She asked for $3,000. I was like, that's a high number.
That's a very high number.
I countered with a smaller number. She was like, what about this? And I was like, okay. And then great sex. She had condoms. She had all this stuff. Awesome. Fantastic. And then I was on my way. And I was like, you know what? Zelda.
Nice.
Zell.
Nice.
Put a tip in there as well.
Nah, a
You
little
know,
tip.
come on.
Yeah,
And then it was just like, okay, cool. Thanks. Great night. Nice to meet you. I'm out.
Did you write just the tip?
I should have. I wrote for fucking my brains out. No, I'm kidding. Just put it right in there and sell. But I'm saying it was like that was like one of those, like, I'm not mad at that.
I'm one of the.
She was also insanely hot.
I also respect the fact that you're out and you're doing the work in that regard.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then B, like there is some level of like, that is to my mind, there ought to be a distinction between being outside, meeting people, mixing it up, doing sex work that way, and just kind of like finger blasting yourself in your bedroom in front of a screen. Like that, these are different forms of sex work. I don't know. I would just argue that.
Oh, you mean like the what's that fucking site?
OnlyFans.
Not OnlyFans. The other one that like that's always Chatterbait.
Oh, I don't even know.
There's that site where it's just like all live cams.
Right, but it's like that. Those are different types of work. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And you know, people get a little weird when you suggest that one is more work than the other.
Yeah.
But in my mind, I'm like, this can't be like the people who are in the streets must be like, these new kids with their technology, they don't know what it is to make a buck. You know?
Yeah. I mean, I also like I don't want to fucking pay for sex. Like
no.
Like, but in that situation, she knew she had me hook, line, and sinker, flirted to pieces. Now, if that situation ever pops up again, I'm just throwing this out there for anyone who hears this episode. It's like, oh, I know how to make a quick buck.
No.
Where's Sean performing? I'll probably say no.
No, that's a one and done. But like, you know.
But I was also.
Did you leave feeling like the money was well spent?
Yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah. I mean, she did a specific thing that I'd never experienced before, and it changed my perspective of the thing.
Wow.
You want to know what the thing is?
Kind of.
She put a butt plug in. Her.
In herself.
And I was like, okay. And she's like, it's for me. And I'm like, sure. But it like contracts the vaginal canal. So you're like, oh, that's okay. And
the function of that.
And you feel it through the vaginal wall, I guess.
Oh, because it's like a little.
Yeah. So you're like, whoa, all right.
A little a visitor.
Yeah. It's like, that's okay. That makes
kind of a threesome when you think about it.
In a way. Yeah. With a piece of plastic with a little jewel at it on the end. It was like, yeah, I never thought about that before. And
have you seen the butt plugs with like the ponytails?
I've seen, I'll do you one better. In December 2022, I was performing in Chicago during the Furry Convention. Right?
Oh, okay.
And one of the things some furries do is they wear a butt plug with a tail connected to it. And this is where I'm going to call furries out. I've heard the argument that they do that because they want to know what it feels like to have a tail like an animal. My counter is, I don't think animals' tails grow out of their assholes.
That is a good counter.
Yeah, so it's like, this is different. I think it's still, but that's just funny because you're outside this convention center and You see a guy.
If anything, they would grow out of its spine, I would think.
Yeah, 100%. But you see a guy, with a fucking, a hat and like flannel and like, rugged boots. And you're like, oh, that's just a Chicago guy. And then he turns and he's got a tail hanging out his jeans. I'm like, oh, it's a furry. Mm-hmm. And so I've seen those by the dozens, just walking around.
That's fun.
Yeah, I mean, furries is an interesting thing because I stayed at a hotel where the convention was happening.
I would think the costume starts to smell a little bit.
Absolutely. And I don't think it's all fucking. I think there's a portion of it that's about the fucking. But some of
it's about grooming.
Or some of it's just about being just a person who wishes they were an animal.
Yeah.
And wants to be treated like an animal and talk or like mingle with other animal people.
Do you know that chimps? I'm watching Chimp Empire. Have you seen it on Netflix?
That sounds.
It's like basically a reality show about a tribe of chimps that live in the rainforest.
Well, I know what I'm doing for the next week.
Yeah, it's absolutely sick. But do you know that when they groom, they groom each other?
Oh yeah,
that's like socializing to them. Like that's like that's how they like get to know each other and
know what kind of ticks I pick off you.
Yeah, and like sort of like it's like a bonding. Like it's truly you're communicating like non-verbally.
When they groom, it's not just a 32-year-old chimp texting a 16-year-old chimp.
No,
working her up to be like the thing he fucks in a year.
Like grooming through chimp cleaning.
Yeah. Instead, it's more just now. Let me pick these ticks off you.
Yeah. And we're forming alliances to take down other chimps. Like they're truly, they're very stature based. Like there's an alpha, and then there's people gunning for the alpha, and the alpha has to assert himself.
Yeah.
And da. So it's like truly like they're 98% our DNA. So it's like basically what people do at all times.
That's what
you watch these chimps, and you're like, it makes sense why people like oligarchs.
Oh yeah.
Like I'm like, why would anyone want? And then I see that I'm like, oh yeah, because they like, I don't know, it makes them feel safe that there's like a guy in the proverbial iron or ivory tower,
right?
Yeah, or tree.
Well, also like, part of me kind of hopes that's what happens when you die. Like when you die, it's like existence just alternates between human and animal. So you die, if you're a fucking terrible person, you get reincarnated as like a fucking
bug
or like a bug or an earthworm or a fucking
earthworm would be
or just something that sucks. And if you're awesome, you're an owl or a fucking eagle or a smash a beak or a bear, even just something dope. And then you get to just experience existence. That's like your heaven or hell. Is like that phase of your existence is as this animal. And then when you die as that animal, you then come back sort of reset as a human being.
But what if you're a worm and you're still being a piece of shit to other worms?
Then you come back as just a shittier
worm.
Oh no, just as a shittier person.
Oh dang! In a shittier situation.
Or maybe just like what doesn't seem like a shitty situation. You just come back as like an inbred fucking rich kid, and you're just dumber and slower and stupider, and you're gonna die a horrible death one day. That involves amphetamines and
falling into a sewer.
Yeah, and yeah, exactly. And then you come back, and now you're just a fucking cockroach. You're like, fuck,
I'm back in the sewer.
Right, and then so it's basically like every human existence you experience feeds the next plane of existence, which is as an animal. Mm-hmm. But since you're an animal, you're not exactly cognizant of your past human life. You're just sort of the animal existence is the reward. Or the consequence of your human life.
Depending on.
Right. And so when you come back as a human after dying as an animal, you are still, you're resetting based on how shitty you were as a human. It still factors in, but like, it's a reset. And then you get another chance, and if you're you're an asshole, well, guess what? You're coming back as a fucking, a pufferfish. No one likes you. You live in darkness.
Yeah, or the things at the bottom of the sea that we still don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
And which would be cool to find out. Do you believe that we know less about what is in the ocean than we do about what is in space?
I would bet it's an equal amount
of knowing absolutely nothing. about anything.
An equal amount. Well, but you come back as an octopus, that means like, oh, you're pretty chill. Or a dolphin.
Dude, if you were come back as an octopus, you fucking killed it. Those things are badass.
Or a dolphin even. Or like an orca.
Orcas are sick. I mean, that you absolutely nailed it.
I would want to come back as an owl. I think owls are fucking fantastic.
Yeah, they do roll.
What?
Gotta go.
You gotta go?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Gotta wrap it up. All right. Here's what happens. Oh wait, we're almost to the buzzer. All right, we're almost to the buzzer.
All right.
50 seconds.
Oh, really? That's
to the
all?
buzzer. Right?
What do you want to talk about for the next 42 seconds?
When I was 15 years old, I was smoking a cigarette on the roof of my parents' house, and it was kind of a wooded area, and I heard a just a shriek. And at first I thought it was my mom. Then I thought it was someone because I was smoking.
Fisher cat?
No. I saw no one, and then I heard again, and I was looking. There was a tree branch 20 feet ahead of me, and I just saw a movement and then a pair of eyes. It was an owl.
Ah.
And I had a flashlight with me. I was like, oh shit. And in the time it took me to do this, to like turn it on, flick it up, it was gone. I've been obsessed with owls ever since. Things stared at me for what could have been 3 minutes. It was probably 2 3 minutes. Felt like it could have been 22 years. It was insane. And it was gone.
Love it.
Stealth like this. Pretty bad.
Silently, too.
That ain't silent, though.
Cheers.
Bling.
Bye.